Well, welcome to the recording for the Documents unit in Computer Fundamentals A. And you can see that the Documents unit has a number of assignments you're going to do. This is going to be the first time that we've gone into the Documents unit, or we've actually done some real work. We've just kind of been learning about computers and things like that, but now we're going to start with this. So the Documents unit for this class goes November 11 through 15. Now this recording might be used for other classes, so your dates might be slightly different. But in the Documents unit, you can see that for Tuesday of the week, of course, you'll do the write-up. And then you have a Project 1, a Project 2, Project 3, Project 4, and then the exam. Now the way all this works in these actually documents, spreadsheets, and presentations unit, when you do Project 1, you will then use that to do Project 2, which you will then use to do Project 3, which you will then use to do Project 4. And obviously you name them different names, but they're built on each other, so keep that in mind. And as a reminder, right here, I have assignment directions recording. So watch this video, I think it's about 5 minutes, and it tells you exactly how to do the 4 projects in that assignment. Finally, or in that unit, finally, right here, this is the Documents unit. This is the last one for the Documents unit. This is when you get to Project 4. What I've done is I've just created what your final project will look like. So this will be Project 4, but remember, you have Project 1, Project 2, Project 3 along the way. But this is a good example of what Project 4 would look like. All right, moving along. So here we are in the Documents unit. And let's go right into the write-up. So the write-up. So Section 2 lists 3 different uses of Microsoft Word or any other word processing program. Which bar in MS Word lets you see how many pages you have, what page you are on, etc. Okay, so Documents unit. So document authoring, of course, we're focusing on Microsoft Word, but this could relate to any word processor. So those of you that are using OpenOffice, you'll be able to do all this work too, but your commands might be slightly different. It's all about doing word processing. So Section 2, the uses of Microsoft Word. So uses of Microsoft Word, it's used both in industry, home office, education, and things like that. And it's really become, Microsoft Word has become the standard word processor that most people use. Certainly most businesses use it. Demonstrating understanding of the basic concepts of Word, create a Word document, format fonts and paragraphs. So that's what we'll learn in this section. Some uses of Microsoft Word. We can see there are different selections here, so you can go ahead and choose the one you think are correct. But really, Microsoft Word, I mean, you can type a report, you can type a letter, you can type, a list of things, pick up the grocery store. I mean, there are all types of things you can type, correct? Opening a Word document, shouldn't have any problem with that. Structure of a Word window. So this is Microsoft Word, and OpenOffice is going to be very similar. And you can see right over here, the menu bar is at the top. The toolbar, so the tools are different things you can do to your document you're working on. The scroll bars allow you to move up and right, up and down, left and right. The document window, that's where all the text you're typing is going. And finally, the status bar. See the bottom of the screen? The status bar is what shows you what page you're on, how many pages you have, the column you're in, all kinds of things. So that's the answer to that one Class Connector write-up question, the status bar. So once you have a document open, you can move different ways. You can use a scroll bar, arrow keys, page up, page down, use the mouse. So very easy to move around in a document. And then to close would be just, of course, file close, so everybody knows how to close a document, right? But you want to make sure that you save your work before you close, obviously. Okay, so that's Section 2. So back to the write-up. So I answered those 2 questions. Back to the write-up. Section 3. What could be a consequence of not saving your work often? What is a key combination to save your work automatically? And what name should you use for the first word processing assignment in the Documents unit? so that you'll know exactly what it is if you need to find it. So section 3, so creating a document, that's what we're going to look at now. So creating a document, of course, in Microsoft Word, you can do research papers, letters, resumes, handouts, all kinds of things. And probably lots of things you've never thought of. And in this section, section 3, we look at the fundamental concepts of Word and create and save a document in Word. So warm-up activity. So this is just going to have you practice opening and closing a document. You're welcome to go through this if you want to, but it's not required. Typing text. So obviously you know how to type text. You all have turned in word processing documents before, so we're not going to worry about this. Now word wrap, you want to take a look at this. Word wrap is to how to get the words to return at the end of the lines on your screen. So go ahead and watch this tutorial on word wrap. Some of you might not know what it is, but watch it and you'll learn what word wrap is. This, I think, is about a 1-minute little video. So go ahead and watch that, please. Paragraphs versus lines. So remember, Word automatically wraps to the next line as you type, so you don't need to press enter. But when you do press enter, then that gives you new paragraphs, doesn't it? And you can combine two paragraphs by going between them and getting rid of the blank line that's in there. So in some, you learned how to open, save a Word document. You also learned the basic features of Word. And I need to go back to the write-up. Consequence of not saving your work. What is a key combination to save automatically? Oh, I guess this tutorial talks about saving. So let's just talk about those couple of things. Well, obviously, a consequence, so if I go back to the write-up here, obviously a consequence of not saving your work often is that you will lose your work, right? And a key combination to save your work automatically, well, once you save your work with the right file name you want, you do File, Save As, and you give it the file name. Once you do that, then after that, all you have to do is hold down on your keyboard Control and S. So Control S will automatically save your work after you've given it a name. Now, what name should you use to save your first word processing document? Well, if I go right over here to Project 1, I'm looking at Project 1, and it tells me in Project 1, which is the first word processing document, this tells me the exact name to save it as right there. So that's the exact name to save the first word processing document. Okay, so that was section 3. So now we're back to the write-up and move on to section 4. What are 3 common formats to draw attention to your words? So section 4. So now we're going to look at how you can be more creative with your document. So this says you have a picture of flyer or a document you've seen that looks particularly professional. Well, what are some things that you can do to documents to make them look nice? So often the font that is used can have a big impact on the look. And the font is the typeface. Like the writing right here, this is called Arial. But you can also enhance your document. 3 ways to make words stand out is bold, italics, and underline. Those can make words stand out and draw attention to your work. So that's the answer to that Class Connect write-up question, bold, italics, and underline. But you can do other things too. So we're going to look at formatting text and using fonts in Word documents. Here's a little warm-up activity. So this is, had you open up that letter earlier, if you had done that, fine. If not, you just open up a word processing document and put some stuff on it and just practice going along with this text, practice changing some fonts and such. Okay, about fonts. Fonts are the typefaces. Now, the word font really means the typeface and also the way it's formatted. These are some standard ones. Mostly you want to use Arial or Times New Roman because people can read those easily. Comic you don't really want to use. But these used to be called typefaces, but now it's the word font is used. And here's how you can do the fonts. So at the top of your screen, if you had stuff typed on the screen, when you'd highlight it, then you can go up and choose the different font you want to use. Or you could set that before you even start typing it. So it's under the formatting command. Or you could hit the word format at the top and then choose fonts. So there are different ways to get to the font menu. Font styles and effects. So these are 3 different ways you can enhance your typeface so it stands out a little bit. Bold, italics, and underline are the ways that it can stand out a little bit more, right? Changing fonts. So to change a font, you select the characters or the words of the paragraph you want to change. And then you go up and you give it the font command. If you want to change a whole page, Control A selects everything in your document. Then you can change everything at once. Changing the font color. But when you're in your word processing program, at the top of the screen you'll see in the formatting toolbar, you'll see a little button. It looks like an uppercase A, and that's usually what you can use to change the color of your writing. So just for fun, here's a neat page. You can go look at different fonts just to see the different ones that people have created. And now you're going to go on to Project 2 assignment, and I have the one thing to remember. You'll use Science Experiment 1, and then right when you open it, you save it as Science Experiment 2, and then you do these changes to it. And again, I have a recording that tells you exactly how to do all that work. But you do this stuff exactly. And then you save it as Science Experiment 2, then you submit Science Experiment 2. Okay, so that's section 4. Let's go back to the write-up now. In section 5, there's 3 line spacing choices you have in Word. So let's go to section 5. In section 5, we're going to look at how we can create paragraphs and put blank lines in. So you can see right here how we have paragraph, blank line, this line, blank line, this line, blank line, and then paragraphs of information. So you're going to look at adding paragraph formatting to Microsoft Word document. So if you had been working along and using that sample previously, then you could follow this video and go into the paragraph formatting activity. So watch the video to learn how to format paragraphs. A line spacing, it's the amount of space between each line. For instance, if you have single spacing, and actually that's kind of incorrect in what it means, because if you have single spacing, then there's no space between the lines. Like right here, this paragraph, this is single spaced. There's no space between the lines of text. But this one, down to here, between these 2 paragraphs, this is called double spaced because there's a single line in between. So this is all single spaced, and then all of these things together, that's double spaced because there's a blank line in between. So the way you set double spacing is you highlight the whole paragraph, then you do format paragraph, then choose double spacing. Now there are many different formats for spacing. Single, double, at least, exactly, multiple. But generally what you're going to use are, like if I have a bunch of stuff right here, there's a bunch of junk, right? So I can highlight it, and if I want to change the spacing, then I can go up to paragraph, and I always see the formatting command in there. So here I can do my spacing. So here's line spacing. You can see single, 1.5, double. So if I hit 1.5, hit OK, you can see there's a little bit more space between them. If I do that again, then I can change that to double space. You can see even more space between. So that's how you can change that. Now my menu, I have Windows or Word 10 or something, so mine is different from the way yours is. Most of you have the version where you're going to just do format and then paragraph, and you'll be able to change it. Okay, back into the course. So those are 3 different samples right there of how you can change line spacing. Margins and indents. Now you're not going to have to do any margin or indent work in the work for this course, but you can see the margin and indent you use with this slider, and you can slide to set your margins and indents. Well, all the stuff you're doing in this page is going to be lined up at the left margin. It means it's called left justified. Here's a little tutorial on formatting paragraphs, so you might want to pay attention to that because that's something you have to do in Science Experiment 3 document. You have to format the paragraph. So research just for fun. Follow your teaching instructions to submit this assignment. And this isn't a graded assignment, so you're not going to be doing this. It's just to have you just go fiddle around with Word a little bit. So you're not going to adjust anything or not going to submit anything. And then Project 3, you can see that for Project 3, you'll open Science Experiment 2, then immediately save it as Science Experiment 3, then go in to make these changes, and then save it, resave it as Science Experiment 3 by hitting Control S, and that'll save automatically as Science Experiment 3 once you name it that. And then do all this, and then submit it. So easy work. All right. So 3 line spacing choices we did. Section 6, what is a drawback to relying on the word processor spell check? Explain 2 common mistakes a spell checker would not find. What 3 errors did my spell checker not find in question 9 above? So drawbacks to relying on the word processor spell check. So let's go into section 6. So now we're more at formatting. So what else can you do with your documents? You know, what are some formatting tricks and things like that? How do you put clip art in and such? So we're going to take a look at section 6. So fundamental concepts and usage for Microsoft Word, text, formatting text and documents, ethical uses of the internet. Now clip art is used to put graphics on your document. And of course, anytime you use information, you need to credit your sources. So to insert clip art, insert picture clip art. The easy way to do that. So if I go back to that blank document I had, right here, I can go up to Insert. Where's the clip art command? Clip art. Then I'll get my clip art, my choice of clip art over here on the right. And these are ones that come with Microsoft Word, so I'll choose. Oops. And that puts the bug in there. Then I can make it smaller, larger, whatever. So that's one way to do clip art. Now another way to do clip art, I'll show you. So another way to do clip art would be to do a search on Google. So you can see here I did an image search on Google, and here's a ladybug. Maybe I want to include that. So I'd click on the ladybug. Maybe that's the one I want right there. And now I'm not right where the image lives, but here's what I'm going to do. I want this picture. So I'm going to right click, copy that picture, then I go back to my Word document, and I right click, paste, or Control V, then I put the picture in, and I can change the size of it, whatever I want. I also need to say where I got it. So I click right below the picture. And the reason I'm showing this is in Science Experiment 4, you have to put an image into your document. So now I clicked right below the picture. I'm going to go back to my picture search. And here I want to visit the page where it came from. So now I'm going to the exact page where this picture lives. So here I'm on the page where this picture lives. So now I go up here to the top, I click and highlight, right click, copy, then I go back to my Word document, and right underneath it, hit Control V, and this says exactly where that picture came from. So what I did is I am citing where that picture came from. That's an important thing you have to do if you use a picture that's not from, like if you use a picture from the internet. So that's how I did that. So make sure you do that when you do your Science Experiment 4, your final project. So here's a little video on clip art, so make sure you go through that. Spelling, of course, spell check. But you know, some of the ideas about spell check is that spell check will not ensure you use the right words. It will only look to fix words that are misspelled. So you could be using the incorrect word, but it is spelled correctly. So that's one drawback to using spell check, is that it will not find correct words, but the words are being used the wrong way. So you have to be careful with that. So common mistakes a spell checker might not find, like you're late for a meeting should be you are late for a meeting. Me too should be me too. I found something there. I found something there, so that would be incorrect. This is the right way. So you have to make sure that you use the correct words. So you always need to manually proofread your document. Okay? Also, spell check does not check grammar very well. So review. So in this whole unit, we looked at fonts, we looked at formatting paragraphs, we looked at page number, margins, things like that. Now page numbering, I think the page numbering is probably a part of this, although I didn't see where it addressed page numbering, because you have to put a page number on your document on Science Experiment 4. So here we are in Science Experiment 4. You'll see you're going to put a picture in, size the picture so it looks good, add page numbering to your document. So let me show you how to add page numbering. So I'm going to go back to that document I've been messing with. So now if I put like page 1 right here, I would have to hit enter to get it down to the bottom. But that's not the right way to do page numbering. We want the computer to automatically do page numbering. So the way we make it automatically do page numbering is I'm right here. I'm going to go up to Insert, and let me see in this version. So Insert Page Number, and I want to put it at the bottom of the page. Just a plain number 1 at the bottom of the page. So there you can see the page number 1 shows up. I can actually put the word page right there if I want. And that shows up for me at the bottom of my page. I can highlight it and make it go to the center of the bottom of the page if I want, but that's automatic page numbering. So that's really important. Now another thing I want to show you, go ahead and escape to get out of that. Another thing I want to show you is how to put bullets in. So I'm going to go ahead and change this back to single space, because putting bullets in, this is one of the assignments you have. So if I highlight this, and if I want this to be bullets, then I just go right up here to the bullet command under paragraph, and there I have numbered bullets. And I can take that off. That's numbered bullets. I can also give it those types of bullets. So that's automatically numbered bullets and doing bullets the right way. So when you do bullets, that's how you do it. You highlight everything you want to bullet, and then you go off and give it that command. And I wanted to show you that because you're doing that, I think, in Project 2. You're supposed to bullet something. All right, let me get back to the course so we can wrap this up. So we've gone all through this. Let's go back to the write-up. So what is the drawback to relying on the spell checker? We talked about that. Explain 2 common mistakes a spell checker would not find. And remember, there was that one page that talked about different mistakes. And here's an example. It wouldn't find right if you meant the word R-I-G-H-T. And now, number 10. What 3 errors did my spell checker not find in question 9 above? So right here in question 9, what 3 errors do you see in this sentence? That's what I'm asking you. On number 10, I'm asking you about sentence number 9 right here. So we have answered all of these things. I've talked about the work. The exam preview, of course, is right here for you. And last thing I want to do is go up here and remember I have assignment directions recording right here. This video will show you exactly how to do all the work for this unit. And here's an example of what your final experiment will look like. Science experiment 4. But of course you do science experiment 1, 2, 3 as you move along the way. So you can see how this is going to look ultimately. Alright, that's all I have for you. So I look forward to your work coming in. Thanks everyone. Bye.